Yeah.
Alright, cool. Just hold on for a minute.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Let me see the Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
I wonder what you do. I got my juice back right here.
Yeah, it's good. Just getting it in. Yeah, it's good. Water. Damn, I had it in there too.
And then, yeah, I'm gonna read. Mina's going to read. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Slacky, I can give us 1 minute. Un momento, por favor. Just getting this settled.
This camera.
This might not work tomorrow.
I'm gonna be off.
You might just have to hold the phone. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we gonna slide down when the first time. I'll slide down. Y'all ready? All right. 3. The verse of Heavenly Father is going to
All right, shalom, shalom. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. You know, before we go any further, we like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach us this truth according to the Bible, who rule well, and a double shalom to all the Sister throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with righteousness and sincerity to the best of your ability. You know? And we're going to start off like we always do. The real 12 tribes of Israel. First up, Judah, so-called Negroes. Benjamin, so-called West Indians. Levi, so-called Haitians. Simeon, so-called Dominicans. Zebulun, so-called Guatemanians to Panamanians. Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans. Manasseh, the so-called Cubans. Gad, the so-called North American Indian tribe. Reuben, the so-called Seminole Indians. Naphtali, the so-called indigenous Argentina to Chile. Asher, the so-called Colombians to Uruguay. And Issachar, last but not least, the so-called Mexicans. If you see us up on this sign, going according to the city of Father, repent and come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible, because America will be destroyed in your lifetime.
We're gonna get into it. Because, you know, we back out here again. At least I am. This is first time, but I'm back out here again.
That's right.
And, you know, we're just going to get into it about the downfall of America again, you know? AKA better known as Babylon in the scriptures. You know, so we're going to get into it, man. You know, it's going to be uncut, unfiltered. And we're going to try to be a little PG because, you know, they striking these pages down. But besides that, you still going to get this business, Jake. So we're going to kick it off, man. If I can say real quick.
Hey, that's one of the top topics right now is the downfall of this wicked disease horde, Babylon the Great, which you know is the United States of America. And you can clearly see it's fallen at all levels, economically, militarily, morally, the list goes on and on. Hey, this bitch is only standing on one leg right now, and the Most High is about to throw that great millstone and knock this whole thing down, and the kingdom of heaven's about to be established for eternity. That's why we're diligently pushing this word, hey, to make our calling and election sure, and hasten that great day to where we're going to see these heathens, especially the basis of the heathens, this dirtbag sleazy E beneath our feet, groveling like the dog he's always been. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
gun. That's how people now they seeing peace now. You know, restrictions are starting to loosen up a little bit. You know, Jake getting all comfy now, thinking, oh, they gonna go back full stream again. You know, and look, Jake is out having a good old time like there's no pandemic still going on. But what you don't know, this whole pandemic deal, it ain't nothing but a live exercise right now. These elite, they getting all their information, so they know how to come with this second lockdown and really put the hell on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Right. You know, but hey, Mother's Day popping off, and that's all you think about getting something for mama, but you just don't know. Kill Bates, he coming with that shit for you, you know? Right. And hey, and like you say, before you know it, y'all would say he's coming like a thief in the night. You know, he's gonna send that sword Esau down on you and just put you out your misery, Jake, because that's what you really need today, you know?
If I can say, it says peace and safety. And like the brother was saying, that's the only spirit these Babylonians, these Americans are in, especially 2/3 of you Jakes, that peace and safety spirit. You see restrictions starting to ease, talks about not having to wear a mask somewhere and going back to normal. But when you look outside of the country, the whole planet is in turmoil. You've got these Edomites in Europe attacking cops, having protests about the lockdowns. You've got talks of water shortages, food shortages, gas shortages, hyperinflation, the list goes on and on. But hey, like the brother was saying, the majority of you Jakes are worried about a goddamn Mother's Day, a goddamn pagan holiday. Worrying about a Mother's Day, worrying about worshiping Mama more than the Heavenly Father. And hey, that sudden destruction is quickly coming upon you for your folly and your wickedness.
Good.
I got something with this. It's Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none.
Yeah, Jake, you seeking peace out here. You know, you want to please and appease the so-called white man out here. You know, you still want to do whatever you say. You want to wear your mask. Now you want to wear 2 masks to make Esau happy, you know? But no matter what you do, you get the crawl, Pastor Hart call it big royale or something like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta see all these crazy things now, you know? But you still getting that, and guess what? Esau saying it's still not good enough, you know? Now you gotta get 2 shots. Now you gotta get a booster shot, you know? It's never gonna stop.
They're talking about a mask. I think it's the World Health Organization, the WHO's talking about a mask now that has a monitor on it that monitors every time you breathe in and out. Just complete wicked madness.
Yeah, and so you doing all this thinking you're gonna get this peace, you're gonna be able to go out, you can go to work, no problems and stuff like that. But hey, you just don't know you're getting set up for the ultimate kill that's coming up, you know? Because this so-called white man, he got the whole planet right now in his grip, you know? And like you're saying, they dying off, they getting old. They want to see this NWO come to pass, you know? They've been talking about it, all these councils, you know? But hey, they want to actually see the hell put on the nation of Israel, man. You know, because the top elite, not you bone-headed Edomites just walk around with your head in there, I don't know what's going on.
Jones.
Yeah, you know.
Edomites.
Yeah, all you LSU devils back at the house and all this kind of stuff.
Dukes
you know,
up here.
Yeah. These elites, they know about the birthright, you know, and they want it back, and you stand in their way, you know. But that's just stupid how Esau think he's gonna get it back. But you know, that's a whole nother subject.
If I could say real quick, and what's it saying, Revelation 12 verse 12, that devil's gonna come down in great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. As this brother said, the elites understand the scriptures and understand the birthright and prophecy. They see that the men of the Lord are out here preaching this word and that Israel's waking up. And they know that when that happens, whatever kingdom's ruling at the time is going to get taken down. And they also thoroughly, intimately understand that they're Edomites and know what that fate is going to be. So they're trying to achieve this great work of theirs to avert prophecy. That's why everything's speeding up. But at the end of the day, you're going to fail. You Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys, Merovingians, you elites, the list goes on and on. The only thing you have to look forward to is getting dragged out of your holes, your rat holes, after those nuclear missiles fly by those 144,000 hunters. You're going to be the first ones to get those raw, heavy chains slapped onto your neck and a shovel thrown at you and say, get to work, boy, get to work, bower, get to work, peasant, dog.
It boils down to the end of the day, so you nothing, the basis of men out here, you know? You know, so we just doing our bid right now because, you know, Jake went off. But hey, ultimately we're going to be on top again and we're going to have our foot on your neck, you know? We're going to remember the time we had to wear these masks, you know, and we had to go around these stupid places taking these dumb temperature checks, you know? You know, so you're going to get paid all that back double, you know? So hey, get ready, Esau. So just go on with it. Go on, turn up. Go on, get the second lockdown going. Whatever you got planned. Because hey, you know you got bounds. You know, and you about to beat that bound. And you know the return of your house shot is gonna come back and just get rid of all this foolishness, man. Because the man of the Lord, our souls, we tired of this place. Tired of Babylon. Tired of looking at you stupid Israelites. Number one. You know, we know Esau just doing his job, but he was, you know, his what you want to call it, his not commandments, but his instructions.
I got something.
You know, he got his instructions.
This is St. Luke chapter 10, verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Yeah, that's so-called white man, you know, falling from heaven. You know, he had the world at one time, but hey, before you know it, he's gonna be well, I'm kind of speaking like in the, you know, he's gonna have it at he had it at one time, but hey, he's gonna fail. And, you know, that's when you know your house shot came because the so-called white man that failed. Because Jake, as a whole, we can't do nothing. All this Black Lives Matter, you know, walking up and down the street with signs,
No
marching,
justice, no peace.
never gonna get that peace. The so-called white man, like the brother we brought out before, you know, controls the courts, laws, cleaning houses, and everything else. He's not gonna let you go. Like they say in the scripture, he refused to let him go. I forget exactly, you know. And he's not gonna let you go. So that's why we waiting on your house to come to deliver us out this so-called white man's hand.
I got that for you. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, all that took them captive held them fast, they refused to let them go.
Yeah. Primarily Esau, the so-called white man. You know, and especially all you other nations, you know, in confederacy with the so-called white man, Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, so-called Chinese who are the Moabites, you know, Elam, and so on and so on, everybody outside of the nation of Israel. You know, but primarily fucking Esau, Edom. They refuse to let the children of Israel go, man, because he knows once you go, his kingdom falls. We the only thing that's keeping this crappy place going. You know?
The scripture say, because you hate them. Y'all going to hate them. So, hate somebody, you ain't going to let them go like that. You know?
And you know he's paying you what you know owed anyway, so you want to keep that cheap labor going and want to stop him. Continue doing all this wickedness and filthiness he always into, you know?
If I could say, hey, like the brother just said, and these Edomites know, these elites, the Joe six-packs are just as worthless as these two-thirds. They know that they've got the Most High's jewels in their hands. Hey, you had that demon, that devil Edomite, Adolf Hitler saying, the only reason America's prospering right now is because they have God's jewels in their hands. The so-called Negro, who's a Jew. And then they had that movie, Glorious Bastards, where you had some Nazi Edomites talking, saying the only reason America is successful is because of the sweat of the Negro. Outside of you two-thirds, these nations understand the worth of you and what it means to have you in captivity. That's why these elites are fighting tooth and nail to keep you Jakes dumbed down and in captivity. But we're the thorn in their side. We're the square peg in that round hole, not fitting in with this society, bringing it down. So not only is that devil going to come down in great wrath on the nation of Israel as a whole, but it's especially try to come down on that elect number.
I guess made a good point, trying to keep us dumbed down. Going to show an example, they had that Jake walking, they had a big thing of, I don't know what y'all call it in Louisiana, but crackers, you know, the skate. He had a big thing. He had a big thing, his thing right here, you know, and that being that philosophy, that mindset of thinking it's okay to eat these things, you on this man's side.
Yeah,
you know?
You dare not tell that so-called Negro that he going off eating them crackers, man. Like, no hard you down, that's what you're supposed to eat. You know?
Mind if I say something?
Yeah.
Hey, another example, we just saw Jake holding hands with the Moabite walking down in the street with a bald head and a shaved face. You know he doesn't know a goddamn thing about Israel. He only knows about that Mugu guy pan.
That's it, right. Shrimp fried rice. I'm gonna get right there.
Spare ribs.
This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
That's right. And that's talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're drunk and totally gone, you know, off the philosophies and the way that Babylon the Great has pushed upon you. You know, you took in that bottle and you drink it down to the last sip. You see? You chugged it. Yeah, chug. You know? And this is all employed by Esau Edom, you know, but those that King Proverbs 11:21, those that are joining hand in hand with this Edomite, you know, they're not even going unpunished. You know, there's no way this man's gonna be able to deliver you from the wrath that Yahweh Shema Shai has prescribed for his people. Okay.
This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
That's right. So if you're guilty, Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna weigh you in the balance. And when that day of reckoning comes, the day of judgment comes, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are joined onto this system, you know, they're laying down in bed with this whore, just as these other nations are. You see, taking on its ways, its philosophies. You know, you're not gonna go unpunished. You're gonna be destroyed.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, 2/3 commit spiritual adultery. You
Yeah.
know?
That's why Apostle Paul said, espouse you with the one husband. You know?
What happens when the Lord comes, you know, Yahushua comes home, you know, and he sees his woman in bed with another, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're supposed to cry out.
Yeah.
That's what we just read.
Yep.
You know? Dealing with the history of Susanna, you know, she cried out, you know? That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's when we come out here on the highways and byways and we lift our voice like trumpets, because we are crying out for all the abominations that's being done in Babylon the Great. And how this man wants to stick us with his jabs, his instruments, you know, his chips, he wants to brand the children of Israel.
Like you say, that's what we doing. We're crying out, saying, come get us from this wicked so-called white man, you know? We're tired of his BS. We're tired of lies. We know who the son of perdition is now, you know? Like, we know who our enemy is, first off, you know?
That's right.
And so now we like, hey, big brother, come get us. You know, we ready to go. We see it ain't getting no better. It's only getting worse here. You know, and we like, hey, we just done with this place. You know, so, hey, that's what you say. The souls of the just cry continually.
That's right.
Hey, we gonna stay crying, man. You know, to Yahushua crack them clouds, man. We ready to get the hell out of here. We gotta deal with these women, you know, been popped 20, 30, got 20, 30 husbands on them, you know?
Yeah, that week.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 2 weeks span, you know, maybe the month.
Yeah,
You know?
God.
Yeah, that's
It's like Isaiah 62, giving no rest to establish the kingdom.
Yeah, I got that.
Just to back up what the brother brought out, that Proverbs 11, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. And you 2/3 that still hearken unto your daddy, the devil Esau, you're going to go down viciously and violently, just like he is, without an ounce of mercy. Hey, the famines, the pestilences, the race wars, martial law, hey, and if you survive all that, hey, the cherry on top, those nuclear-tipped ICBMs. This is Isaiah 31, I'm going to start at verse 1. Woe for destruction to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many.
That's right. And stay upon, they leaning upon this man's military might. You know, oh, America got the greatest military, and America go to war with Russia, China, they're going to win. You know, we're putting our stock here in America, because America's going to go on forever. You know, you're not supposed to put your trust in a man. That's what it tells you in Jeremiah, cursed be the man that make it flesh his strength, you know, make him arm his strength. You know, we're supposed to put our trust in Yahweh Shema Shai, and that's it.
And that goes to show how sottish not just 2/3 of you Jakes, but you Americans are, because these American military planners are constantly running drills, and in the majority of their scenarios, it shows that the Chinese and Russian military cracked this American military's acorn right open down to the middle. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Hey, America is going to get hit at all ends roundabout by those nuclear-tipped ICBMs. Everybody inside is going to be that fat, that fuel for the fire.
That's right.
And then horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet also is he wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Yep.
Now the Egyptians, and we know pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, that this great city, this so-called great city, this abominable city, America, is spiritual Egypt. So that would make these so-called white people, these Edomites, the spiritual Egyptians. And they're functioning in the exact same role that ancient Egypt and ancient pharaohs served to these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as a slave master, as a taskmaster, constantly putting those heavy fetters on you, making you a prey in this society.
Yep.
Verse 3, now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit, when Yahweh shall stretch out his hand.
Because when you see the chariot sightings, you know, they can't explain how the chariots are doing what they're doing. You know,
Did you just see what they said?
No.
They said it was a guy that worked with the
NASA?
Yeah, it was NASA. He was saying how they call those vehicles demonic vehicles.
Demonic,
Yeah, because they can't explain how it's doing what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They put a light for darkness and darkness for light.
Exactly.
You know, because Newton's laws of physics don't apply to the power of Yahweh Shema Rashai. See?
And the Egyptians are men and not God.
That's right.
Their understanding is of the flesh and carnality and not of the spirit. And hey, those are demonic vehicles to you heathens.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what did the heathen nations used to call the Most High? Elishadja, that great demon-like power that brought that judgment and horrific violence on you heathens. And that's exactly what these chariots are going to do.
That's right. So that's what Esau trying to do. He's trying to put in the minds of the people these demonic. So when so Jake can get all riled up and say, "Oh man, they do see the chariots." You know, it's easy for Jake to go to war with that.
Will Smith.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think that whole end game was about? Yeah, Thanos come with his army. You know, that's Yahweh Shai coming back with the band of angels. You know, he's the bad guy though. You know, that's them demonizing the Lord.
That's it.
Hey, if you notice in that movie, when in Avengers Endgame, at that final battle, you had Moab, Esau, 2/3, all the heathen nations on one side, and Thanos and his entire host looked like black aliens. And they had the chariots in the sky, and Thanos, of course, had that. We know that gauntlet with the Infinity Stones was the ephod breastplate, so they understand it completely. But Iron Man isn't gonna snap his fingers and Yahweh Shai's gonna disappear. That's not how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, in this story here, where this story ends, there's no so-called white man saving the day. You know,
Right.
the only thing this story says is the so-called white man's going to change. You know, and after that 1,000 years of slavery, man, you're gonna have that ultimate Bruce. You know.
Just a little bit more. Now the Egyptians, back in Isaiah 31 verse 3, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping, though hand join in hand, shall fall down, and they shall all fail together.
You got it.
A point blank period. Hey, those that created the system, these Edomites, and those that try to uplift it and be joint heirs with Esau in his own kingdom, you 2/3 specifically, and you heathen nations, you're all going to fall down when those 200 million nuclear missiles hit this place. You're going to be that fuel for the fire, and you're going to die a horrific death like Sarah Connor did in Terminator 2. And hey, the brothers are always talking about it. Just like the Most High has sped up the time, shortened the times for the elect's sake, we think, well, at least personally, I think that when that nuclear fire touches you people, he's going to slow down time so you can sit and stew and time.
Yeah, you saw. I'm sorry. And you know the Lord, you know, He's working on everything. You know, because when you watch that vision with Sarah Connor, they show you that time got slowed down in the vision. You know, and she was burning slow. You know, that's how the Lord's gonna have it. That's why the Spirit always has his heartbeat on that point. You know, of the nuclear destruction. And you watch the third one. The third one's when it was fulfilled, because that was a vision. You know, and Arnold Schwarzenegger came back and said, "What? Judgment Day is inevitable." You know.
And at the end of it, John kind of realized that you can't stop it.
Exactly.
And then they show the missiles, the arrows getting shot to the ends of the earth, flying, hitting different places.
So what? He went into a bunker. And that's when it says, though they dig into hell, what's that, Amos 9?
9.
9:2?
You want? I got something real quick while y'all got that. This is Job chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Don't let you know that what? This man's bullshit is coming to an end, man. And we out here proclaiming to our people, look, don't be joining hands with this man. He get ready to go down. You know, but what? You still got your average entertainers taking the jab, taking the stab, trying to keep this man kingdom afloat, man. You know? This man's house is burning, coming down, and these 2/3 trying to take the room back in there. You know?
Yeah, the so-called white man house on fire, burning building. We got our people running with buckets of water.
Right.
They instead of trying to put the fire out, you know, blaming us. Like, what y'all want y'all shut up? Why don't y'all stop talking about the so-called white man so much?
Why
You
help
know?
us? Why you help us?
Yeah, right. Why you ain't grabbing water?
And since Jake's down bad, he can't even afford a good bucket, so it's got holes in it.
Yeah.
The water's coming. Jake's shaking, trying to get it out.
They running back into the house trying to turn on the sinks.
Yeah, right.
What's the guy named Diego? What's his name? I forgot his name, yeah.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to keep this man's place. Yeah.
And you saw Birth of a Nation when Nat Turner and the slaves burnt down Master's house. The coup came out like, "You killed us all! You killed us all!"
Yep.
Yep, that's facts.
That's what 2/3 is saying to us right now. You know?
You're the reason why this man's gonna come down.
Yep.
Everything was smooth until y'all start getting you.
Good, right?
Ready again?
This is Job. Oh, that's right here.
Yeah.
This is Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
So that joy that Esau even had ruling the planet Earth, it was a moment, that little season that Yahweh Shai is allowing him to rule. You know, we about to have an everlasting kingdom. You know, the Lord is telling you that if the wicked is prospering the earth, that their demise is going to come soon after. You know, they got a fake food. Everybody bugged out. You know, Babylon's overweight. You know, obese. You know, out of shape. The food is through. The air is finished.
There's been an uptick in suicidal thoughts, suicides, alcohol and drug abuse. Every possible thing you could think could be going wrong with the country, America's leading spades, stars and stripes.
Alright, that's facts.
That goes back to the scripture about the hypocrite. You know, he's so worried about what's going on everywhere else.
They ain't worried about what's
Yeah,
going on.
but at home, you know, it's all good at home.
The
Though, you know?
homelessness at all-time high.
Yeah.
We got border crisis, but he's still trying to be over there in the Middle East.
Hey, that's how we know this. I was gonna say, that's how we know this is Rome all over again. Because when you looked at ancient Rome, hey, they used lead pipes, so people are getting dumped down. What's a modern day equivalent? GMO foods.
They lead in the water.
Lead in the water. Huh?
In the shower. Yeah, that's why you gotta buy a shower filter. It's crazy. There's fluoride in the water, chlorine, you know, lead, all this shit. You know, where did all this come from? You know, I thought it was just water. You know?
What's all this extra shit going on with, right?
Exactly.
And with ancient Rome, hey, they spread their armies too thin, which is easy to see with America. Like, they got so many crisis points going on that their shit's falling apart at record numbers. And then their borders, America's southern and their northern borders, jacked up just like Rome. Ancient Rome got to the point to where they were hiring their own enemies, the barbarians, to watch the border. And it's no different today. You got Esau being lax on the border, so Jake's coming in from the south, other elements coming in from the south and from the north are getting in here, and a lot of shit's being set up, like a lot of sleeper cells and stuff, like especially from Hezbollah with Iran and a bunch of other agents from China, you name it. MS-13. So when the go ahead gets going, hey, it's gonna be pandemonium.
Through the purge, they were showing that they were bringing people into the neighborhood. What do you think? They could hire, you know, they could be hiring those people down there. You know? Nothing's off the rim of what this devil won't go to destroy your so-called heroes like his Native Americans. You want something?
That was it.
Yeah, I got one.
Amos.
I got the Amos.
Yeah, look at Amos.
Yeah, put that Amos for the brother.
Let me get a verse, please.
Con. Hey, like the brother was saying, hey, in Terminator 3, they showed John Connor in the bunkers. And if you read in the news, you're hearing talks about luxury submarines, luxury space stations that people can go visit at. Hey, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not just for people. Oh, I want to go look at the stars and watch Star Wars.
Right.
That's them. That's people in the know trying to escape this destruction because they're talking about like the average ticket being $1 billion.
That's because if they just start sending people up there, they're gonna be like, what the hell's going on? So they gotta advertise it. Like, oh, they're doing this and doing that, but really, this is at least going up there. They ain't coming down. Until we come.
I'm just gonna say because like the average ticket is like $800,000 to $1 million. What? Is anybody? Oh, let me just take a ticket to go up to a space station
For 6 hours.
for 6 hours and play some 0G basketball.
Yeah, seriously.
You got it, bro.
This is Amos chapter 9. I'm gonna start at verse 1.
Okay.
I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. If I can say real quick, hey, that's those 144,000 hunters. You won't be able to escape wherever you are elites and you other higher ups, you sheiks, you presidents, you prime ministers, you governors go to hide. If you survive, hey, you're only surviving just to be that first fruits in the kingdom of heaven.
Jeremiah 16:16.
Yep.
I got that.
Okay, got that.
Okay. Verse 2. Though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them.
Is this how you know, there's a spirit, brothers going to the hell doctrine, How can you dig into hell? You got a shovel, on the earth, you're going to dig down there, you're going to drill into hell. Nah, this is talking about those dumps, those deep underground military bunkers, that Esau Edom, that Esau Edom's going to be having, the wicked elites, really, the 1%.
Even some Jakes, Kanye said he can do better when I got him.
I feel like he feels talking shit.
We do listen to Alex Jones, though.
They got one in Babylon. They might be throwing those cheap, because they know they're going to be destroyed.
And he's not even leaving the country, going to New Zealand to build a bunker. He's building it in ground zero.
The only thing that's going to be good for him, if he do make it, he's going to preserve all the way for the missiles. If he's going to be down there the whole time. He's going to be chilling, those missiles are coming and burn his ass up. Everybody got to drink of that cup of judgment, one way or another. You're going to get locked out of his mansion, you probably got to get the chip, you can go down there.
Jake,
They're going to take it from you.
Jake's so simple that when he reads hell, he think, like the brother was saying, they're going to dig down there and see Hellboy drinking a Cayman Jack.
Jake try to be so intelligent. Jake still on a low level. Still thinking it's like fairy tales and mermaids and things like that. Like girl man, there's no man down there running around looking people, man.
That's smooth business to me.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part I said. But Jake, wicked as hell, but they still believe in a hell. And you try to tell these little kids it's not one. It's like, no, it's a hell.
Yeah, they still believe.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They still believe.
Well, no.
Though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, then shall I bring them down.
That's right. So the men that was on the street corners that the nation of Israel despised, you see, well, they're going to be given that power, to conquer, to overcome those that are really oppressing the earth. Because a guy, he came up last couple weeks ago asking, well, what do we do? How do we get out of this situation? How do we get out of this? You got to turn back to the Holy One of Israel and truth, and lean upon the Lord. And trust these last days that are coming upon the earth. The judgment is going to come whether you want it to or not. The date is already stamped. How about your Heavenly Father knows the date stamped. Those missiles will fly in America. That's why we are measuring the times.
Verse 3.
Oh,
It's Revelation chapter 6 verse 15. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb.
They gotta be in their bunkers. If this door opens,
Yeah.
you know, I need to cover the hiding. I got a year or two. I can at least stay in here for a year. You know, drug it out.
They got some years down there.
Yeah.
You know, they
Probably at least
growing
100.
plants and everything. Many cities.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
self-cleaning water,
Yeah.
unlimited energy. It's to the point to where they got whole highways down there. You can drive a car like
Yeah.
Like 18 wheelers, like
I saw a video on that, man. It's about the cars. Well, why do you leave cars down here? You know what I'm saying? They didn't go into it. But going back to what the brother just said, they got highways down here,
That's
man.
what I'm saying down there.
Yeah.
They're like, man, we good. You know, we good down here.
I wish I could see us down here. You know,
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, you can't get us down here. We good. You know, we got the military and all this kind of stuff, but we good. I got to fix something.
But they say real fast, like you said, they gonna have everybody down there. They gonna have slaves. It's still not gonna be wanting to do nothing.
in that Revelation 6, it said the kings and pretty much the great men, the bondmen and the servants.
There you go. There you go.
Because they still going to be in that high mindset. I'm not going to do work down
Exactly.
here. I'm going to have my servants, my
Exactly.
cooks down here,
Exactly.
serving me calamari and what's that fish? Catfish.
I'm going to read verse 17. I'm going to finish this chapter out. It's Revelation 6 and 17. For the great day of his wrath is come. Who shall be able to stand? The answer is nobody, man. That's why we're trying to get our people to elect out of 2/3 to repent and turn back to the Heavenly Father, man. Now is the time. You know, everyone's looking for a sign. With the signs of prophets. You know, it's not what I had apostles and elders of Great Millstone down on every street corner for the four corners of the earth, man. This is the biggest sign you can see that this is the end. The end of what? Your daddy Esau's rulership. That was it.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Hey, just to further back up that you elites are going to be in these domes, these deep underground military bunkers. But hey, those aren't your salvation. Those are your holding cells until the wardens get to you.
Right.
This is Isaiah 24 verse 21.
They got the gold down there. You know? They got the gold.
The underage boys. All
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, that's facts. They have, yep, man.
Their heart's desire down there.
Everything up here is gonna be down there.
Literally.
And they had a movie from the 60s called Dr. Strangelove. And it was dealing with nuclear destruction. And you had all the generals and the presidents of the war room saying, okay, so we know, and they even said that Russia had a doomsday weapons that was going to wipe the U.S. out. And they said, so what are we going to do? Well, we have these underground bunkers set up with beautiful women so we can repopulate the planet while we're down there for like decades. But that's not how that's going to play out, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got wherever you want to get me.
This is Isaiah 24 verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth
Who's that
among
talking about? Who has the power of the planet Earth right now? You know, who's that proud and lofty nation thinking they shit don't sink?
Right.
You know, I think they're just gonna rule forever. They're gonna be able to fool the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son. You know, who is these guys? Just like Pharaoh was puffed up in his pride and he refused to let the people go, the Lord is doing the same thing he did to Pharaoh. He's hardening this man's heart. You know, he sees plagues coming upon the earth. He's going to see things heighten up even more than they are now. And this man's going to be like, just continue on with the plan. You know? That's why they said they refused to let them go.
Hey, We're coming in the stead of Moses and Aaron going to Pharaoh saying this is what's going to happen, and it's constantly happening. But what's Esau doing? Hardening his neck and going full through with this new world order.
All right, we told you, get the jab ain't gonna work. Brothers, you ain't gonna be able to see the very elect. But this man is still with his propaganda, his psyop, trying to play on the psychology, the study of the mind. You see, like brothers going to the lead, dumbing people down. These things are all, ploys that this man uses to try to deceive the elect, but he can,
I got a quick, real quick. Okay. This is why Esau, why he's going full throttle, even after we're telling him what he's going to do and what's going to happen, the outcome.
Yeah.
Why he's still hardening his neck. This is Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?
This man don't even know what the hell is really going on.
Exactly.
The Heavenly Father is literally controlling this guy. His every move is already planned.
If I could say, what does it say the men of the Lord do? We prophesy in part. So Esau assumes and plans in part. He knows that the prophecies are coming to pass, but he doesn't have the whole picture. He thinks that somehow he's going to eke a victory out of it.
Yep. Because we know what our end is. That's we know what our expectation is for our end to be. And he knows what his expectation is for his end to be. What he thinks his end to be. But somebody is being deceived, it's the Edomites. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks.
What's that in Job where it says in the vision, slumbering upon the bed?
That's
33.
Yeah. The Most High sealeth your instructions. That's what he does every day. It's not just for us.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. I mean, that was made out of good. I was just ran back.
And the kings of the earth upon the earth, Isaiah 24 verse 22, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they be visited.
Wow.
Hey, those bunkers that you're hiding in, that isn't your salvation. That's your prison, that pit that you're going to be hidden in, and you're going to be visited after those days when those 144,000 hunters come down from that massive fathership chariot to go and get you from the depths of the earth, from the bottom of the sea, and climb up to heaven to drag you down, grab you by your ankle, and drag you down by your heel.
And they're going to see what they did too. They're going to see what they did to the earth, man. They're going to see the destruction. It's what you did, man. You got to pay for that too.
I know, right? America's going to be a wasteland.
Yeah.
Other parts of the world going to get hit. The whole geographics of the earth is going to change.
Yep.
It says the earth's going to rock back to and forward like a drunkard. You imagine how much power and destruction that is coming to this planet is going to be to do that?
I mean, you can just imagine some islands, small islands, just going to just disappear.
And new islands
are going to
come up.
Yeah,
new land masses.
You can see that.
This is Revelation. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
There you go. Back going into
Nuclear destruction.
Yep.
When it comes, it's gonna come.
It's gonna come, man.
And it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be devastating. This is gonna be the second death. The Lord's gonna literally billions of people finished.
From one end of the earth into the other shall be the slain of the Lord.
That's right.
Hey, and Esau knows this because if you saw that movie 2012, they didn't talk about the missiles, but they said that the calamities that happened on the planet shifted the earth on its axis. So Africa went where Canada was, and Canada and America went where Africa was. The earth rocking to and forward like a drunkard.
That's right. That's right. I got that piece right here. Jeremiah 25 and 33. In the slaying of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth.
It was it say in Revelation 7, the angels at the four holding back the four winds, the four corners until the elect have been sealed. So that goes into that. Hey, once they get the go ahead to let that curtain go and that destruction, it's going to be from one end of the earth into the other. While America's going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth, other places are going to get hit with calamities and missiles, and the slain of the earth, the slain of the Lord, as it said, are going to be from one end of the earth into the other. And when you continue going into it, it says they shall be about as dung upon the ground. Some shit that you're not going to give a second thought to.
There's going to be a lot of dead bodies out here. And like brother always tells you, that's going to be the job of the elite. You know, to clean up. The one day disintegrate, you know, you have to clean up. Just a little bit more. Just finishing it out. And it reads, they shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried, just like they buried all these so-called C-19 victims. You know, the ones that gave up the ghosts. You know, they over here putting all these bodies in coffins in big trucks. You know, no, they ain't gonna be doing that. You know, they show you that movie of Bushwick. You know, it's a build-up, you know. The ultimate destruction is going to be when those missiles come, but there's going to be dead bodies everywhere, you know, before the destruction comes.
That's what we adding to the place, because dead bodies bring about a bunch of diseases. Stink. And hey, it said they should not be lamented or buried. What's it saying in 2nd Esdras? The world that is now is made, the world to come was made for a few, but the world that is now is made for many that are going to pay pretty much.
I got something for you. This is 2nd Esdras 8 and 3. Along those lines.
Start at 1.
You want to start at 1?
Yeah.
Yep, this is 2nd Esdras 8. It says, he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
So if you're making the world to come for few, it means you don't give a shit about the many. So if they don't get lamented or buried for it, it means they were actually dung or shit. So it doesn't matter. Then you're dead. You're like these pebbles and rocks on the ground that you just step over and don't give a second thought to. And you people need to get that through your head. If you're not of that elect number, you were made in vain. Hey, that's it. You remained in vain. You remained in vain. You had the only purpose you served was to get judged.
Yeah.
That's right.
Verse 2, it says, I will tell thee a similitude as unto like as when thou askest earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthly vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. It said, verse 2, 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 2, it says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold, whereof earthly vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world.
That's right. You know, and ultimately the goal is the elect.
Little of it.
The little of it. You know, that's that little sanctuary that Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to save. You know?
Yep. Verse 3, there be many created, but few shall be saved.
Yeah, so the many that are being created are basically that fuel for the fire, you know, that's gonna have this place be burnt up.
Hey, and what do you do when you go for gold? You put clumps in that little pan, and all the chaff falls out, and a little bit of gold stays in that seed. That seed.
It tells you Amos, you know.
And not the least grain fall upon the earth.
And that's that the jewels, the true jewels, the elect, where all that chaff and dirt and grime and mud falls to the earth, and it's just dung upon the ground, that gold is going to stay in that spiritual seed that be gathered.
That's right. I got you. It's Amos 9 and 9. It says, for lo, I will command, I will set the house of Israel among all nations, and this corn is set in the seed, yet should not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Or plain here, shall not the least grain of the elect fall upon the earth. And he said he's going to search the whole earth, the four corners, that those angels in Revelation 7 are holding back the destruction from, those four winds. And once all that gold is caught in that spiritual seed, hey, that's where it's going to be green lights go on people.
That's right. Go ahead.
That was it.
Let me finish this up. Just finishing off Jeremiah 25 and 33. They shall not be lamented, nor gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Dumb crap. That's stuff you don't give a second thought to after you flush it down the toilet. That's the majority of you people on this planet.
That's what you know. You got gold on this scale. You're not, the rest of it, you're not really putting on the scale. Anybody pick that up and weigh it, you know?
And I mean, look at the average person walking on these streets. They already look like walking dung. They look like something that needs to get flushed down a toilet. It's sickening seeing you people on a day-to-day basis.
What you say, when you open up somebody, like, give it to you raw or something like that?
Oh yeah.
And that's unfiltered, man. You know, you're going to literally be dung upon the earth if you don't turn back to the Lord, man. You Israelites. You're not going to make it, dress up for you, yeah.
Cry aloud.
You're going to make it, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just keep praying.
And cry aloud, spare not.
Spirit, that's right.
Just to the brother's point, a lot of the people, they've never seen some of the things that, these people that we're speaking about, as far as like bodies that are in the street and not being picked up. The brothers remember back when the hurricane hit the Bahamas, I remember brothers was posting that in his testimony, where there was so many bodies on, actually, I've never even seen a dead body outside of a casket before. You know what I mean? So these people are not going to be prepared, they're not going to be ready for the stuff that they're going to test that. Yeah, Katrina, exactly. Yeah. That was a small scale, that Bahamas stuff, man. She said she was she ain't got smell before, flies, maggots, stuff. She said it was a horrible experience. That's coming to America,
That's the city near you.
Yes.
And we have a brother in our camp that actually was in the city during Katrina, who was in the city for 7 days, and he got the real McCoy of the situation. And every horrible thing you read about Katrina, the brother saw it. So, and he just got an appetizer for what JT's gonna be. He said military. If I could say real quick, he said the military was driving around in their cars and throwing throwing food out the back, and people that go get the food, they be putting them down, like making a game out of it. And who do you think the majority of those people they were putting down were?
Look how they come out. They come out like rats.
Yeah.
They come out like rats to get the food.
This is the bait. They from the white man's word, that black rock. The white man's word.
Revelation 11:8. And the dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
And those Jake spiritually laying down dead in this great city in the congregation of the dead. So black, African, Native American, Mexican, you name it. But hey, soon that physical death is coming in the streets in mass numbers, dung upon the earth.
Yeah, Jake don't see it, man. Like you said, just riding up and down the street, living his life, living his best life, like the song says.
Celebrate Mama.
Yeah, Mama Day tomorrow, so Jake ain't thinking about no word today. They want to go to the church house tomorrow and hear, Jesus love you, take care of your mama, and see y'all next week. That's what Jake want to hear, man. He don't want to hear the griminess, the hurtfulness of these scriptures that cut you, let you know that you ain't shit, pretty much, that you going off. Everything you've been told is a lie. But that Jake don't want to break up his matrix, man. He want to just stay wicked because he saw okays it, and so Jake feels like, oh, it's the right thing to do. If the ruler says all right, then who are y'all to say otherwise? What I need this Bible for? This Bible, y'all been saying that for years. Jake, you just get burned out on hearing it and just continue his wickedness, man.
And that's the spirit. We had, as the brother was talking about you, Jake's getting that business. We had Judah walking up the street, and as he was finishing, you had the northern tribes walking. So all 12 tribes hearing this word.
Yeah,
Right.
Brother, back up what you said, about tomorrow.
St. Luke chapter 11, verse 27.
Yep.
And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed is the womb that bare thee.
She lifted up her voice, bro. Totally out of order. You know?
Saying, hey, being on that Mary mother worship, blessed is the woman that brought forth thee. But what did Yahushua say?
That's right. It reads on, verse 27, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked.
See, if it wasn't gonna meet, he wouldn't be born. You know? Yeah.
Those women, because all that Mary shit goes back to these, not the actual Mary who's the mother of Yahushua who gave birth to him, but the worship of Mary, the statue holding the baby, that goes back to Nimrod and Semiramis, and hey, those women weeping for Tammuz and Ezekiel. That's what it all goes back to. And you got to remember, hey, just as Jake was heavy in this worship now, Jake was heavy in it back then. That woman, that Queen of Heaven vibration has always been going through the nation of Israel through the different captivities.
That's right. You got it, bro.
Reads on, verse 28, but he said, yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of the Most High and keep it.
Hey, what Yahushua told us, what we're telling you, hey, blessed is those that hear the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, the Father and the Son, and keep it. Not telling you to woman worship or celebrate Mother's Day, but diligently seek back to your power in humility and following the ways of your power the best that you can, so you can hope for salvation, to be saved from these calamities that are coming. Oh, y'all, I finished my point.
That was it. St. Luke chapter 11, verse 28. But he said, yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of the Most High and keep it.
And was Yahushua talking about worshiping Mary or anything like that? What did he say when Mary came up to him in the temple? Mother, do you not know that I'm about my Father's business? And what was the Father's business? Being instant in season and out of season, diligently preaching this word and living it, and giving it to you raw and uncut, not cutting corners or being sweet about it, but rubbing salt in those spiritual wounds.
This is
This ain't for us.
This is St. James chapter 1 verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. You know, if I may, you know, you look at this word superfluity, it goes into the excess amount, you know, the residual remains of who we were in the world, you know? So we are laying those things apart, and, you know, we have heard this word, now we are trying to keep the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, the way of life, to the best of our ability. It says, wherefore lay apart all filthiness, and we know the filthiness is the pollution that this world promotes, the filth, you know? Dealing with this whole Mother's Day, you know? You know, Queen of Heaven, the man, you know, is the head, you know, of the household. Then the woman, you know, and the head of the man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the Yahweh Shai is the Heavenly Father.
If I could say real quick, hey, Mother's Day just goes to show how insignificant the Israelite man is looked at in this society. Because for Mother's Day, a big deal is made about it. You buy mama a car, you bring her to the nicest Hey, don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up. Make sure you give your mother the best that you can. Blessed is the paps that you sucked in the womb that bear you. That's the spirit in this society. Hey, we were talking about this yesterday. When it comes to Father's Day, you get a fucking you get a excuse my French. You get a $5 Walmart, $5 belt from Walmart, and some Nautica socks that they probably got a couple of years ago, prepared for Father's Day.
Cheap polo cologne from Ross. This shit watered down. Shit recycled from Christmas. Yeah. Somebody didn't want
a tie.
Yeah, so they give it to you.
With Mickey Mouse on it.
Damn Walmart hammer, man. Yeah.
When you hit it once, the whole head flies off of it.
Yeah, but you want to be draped in diamonds and
and these goddamn new things you women talking about some goddamn push gift. That's some push gift for you, all right? All right?
That's right.
Yeah, they want the milk and the honey, man.
That's right.
And the corn.
And the corn, man. If you know what I'm talking about. That's right. Bullshit. You know? The men, if you know any better and knew the times of old, which the times of old is still in place, man. Ain't nobody attempted to change the times of old for Esau, man. But you should greatly, like your other Uncle Boris said, man. You have a pops, man. You make peace with your pops, man. You make peace with him. You also you give more reverence to your pops, man. That's where you come from. Your father. Your mother has a part to play in it too, in a sense, but you come from your father, man. And you make those, you try to, those different frictions that you might have based on the truth or whatever, you try to make peace with them, man. Right? And you pay, what you say?
I got something. This is Numbers 1:18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
By the house of who?
By the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. Why is that? Because that's who the seed comes from. That's who the generations come from the loins of the man. Because we always bring up this example. Hey, you plant a seed somewhere. You plant that seed, and it could be soil in China, soil in Vietnam, or whatever that seed is. It's not going to come up as a Vietnamese apple or orange. It's going to come up as let's say it was an Israelite seed planted in Vietnamese soil. It's just going to be a Vietnamese, it's just going to be an Israelite apple in Vietnam. And when you look at all these period pieces, like the Game of Thrones or these medieval movies, what's the main thing they're worried about? The heir, the son. That's the one that's going to continue the kingdom.
One thing too, when Yahushua was born, what did Herod try to do, man? Yeah, he didn't say go kill all the firstborn of the women.
Right.
Go in this kingdom kill all the firstborn of men. Because through men, that's where you come from.
Hey, Egypt.
Yeah.
When the Israelites were multiplying, they said kill all the males, but leave the women to survive. Why is that? Because if a heathen pops an Israelite woman, that's going to be a heathen that may look like, with an Israelite complexion.
There they see.
Con.
Because when it comes to your sons, through your son, your lineage continues. But through your woman, your daughter, through your daughter, brings forth the continuation of whoever she marries lineage, man. It's nothing more. A woman is nothing more than the comparison of ground. When you put seed in ground, what happens? Whatever you put in it comes out of it.
Whatsoever a man sows, that's how you also reap.
Right.
You know?
The significance is the seed. That's why we did a lesson one time on the block. We went through the different fashions of the terminology of farming.
Husbandry. Plow into the earth and plant that seed.
Yeah, man. Plow, man, you popping it. You drilling, man.
Penetrate.
You penetrate, man. And what happens? Sometimes that one seed brings forth twins, triplets, whatever, man. You know? And that, like I said, it grows up and it comes from you. Because even in the sense, I had an article a long time ago, it shows you that when a man pops a woman and he pops a seed in her, right? He lays seed in her. The man is even these top scientists, a man gives it all 75% of himself, his personality, everything about him to bring forth that baby, man. That's why, real quick, that's why it says, they even make comparisons even when you see lions. Lions are pop the male lion all day, and then what happens? The nigga tired, man. He's gonna sleep. He's gonna sleep for a couple of days, man. Because you're giving forth the most of yourself to bring forth that child, man.
If I'm not mistaken, the man determines the X and Y chromosomes.
Yep. Right. He's the one that carries the Y.
Yeah. Right.
And hey, a woman's body, when you really think about it, is just a big sponge. Because when your seed gets in her, like, it stays in her.
5 to 7 days.
Hey, it pretty much stays in there for eternity until she dies because a woman.
I know what you about to go into.
Hey, they did a test on an 80-year-old woman that died, and she said she'd only been with one man her entire life, but they found 3 different seeds in her brain. Hey, if a man puts his seed in a woman, it stays with her for eternity. And hey, if you deal with the woman long enough, not only does she start taking your spirit, but she also starts looking like you.
Yep. Acting like you. You stand these fucking Edomites. You looking at her like, I ain't seen Edomites. Listen, what's going on? She started thinking that way.
It's true, because if I could add too, my woman, she was just saying a week ago, she's like, I'm starting to be like you now. I'm starting not to like white people. You know what I mean? You know, so,
Hey,
yeah.
even better. Even your animals, man.
Yeah.
Because I ain't never taught I had a dog, I never taught that nigga nothing about the white man, but he just hate white people.
Yeah.
He hate. He took that nigga to the vet one time. Oh, look at you, buddy. With the shake. I said, you better not. He was about to bite him in his face, man.
Yeah.
He was about to bite him in his goddamn face. But
That's right.
this thing that we're in, I think it's all about vibration. It's all about vibration. Your vibration goes on your woman, your children, your animals, man. Because they're a part of you. They're your possession. You know? This thing is powerful, man. You know? This thing is powerful. What happened back in the 70s and the 60s? To me, to my dogs, they hated niggas, man. They hated niggas, man. I remember being a young boy running past the gate, hitting my house, they trying to tear your head off. But when another white person come in, they just sitting there wagging and shit, letting them pet them. That means that crack in the house hates you, man. You know? This thing is heavy, man. You know?
Rabbit hole goes deep,
Very deep.
and it still goes deep when you think you've gotten to the bottom.
That's right, man. It's something that's supposed to be like you.
Inside his children.
Matthew 1:1. The book of the generation of Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Judas and his brethren. And you read on, it ain't got nothing with the woman lineage until it gets to marriage. But that was it. That's where it stopped.
Yeah.
You know? And then when you even with Esau's system, when you get married, whose name does she take? She takes the husband's name. Letting you know that these women are really a possession too, man. They're supposed to be a possession. You know?
Like I said, just to your point, even like that you said, even the Esau system, even that's over here. When it comes to like the, I mean, they go off a little bit, but they keep it over there overseas too. You know what I'm saying? The people that are in power over there are in power because of the seed of their fathers. You know what I'm saying? They be worried about that stuff. Like, oh, is that man? Like the brother was saying, like those movies, Game of Thrones and stuff like that. They kind of take some of those same principles when it comes to giving away their children. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, who is the man? Who is the like who is she gonna be married to? Because they definitely don't want no Jake to be to get married into being the king of England.
Because he's
like
gonna be the king.
Yeah, he's gonna be the king. Exactly.
Hey, and if you look in historical context with these different kings and stuff like that, whenever they stopped having sons and it was just daughters, they'll literally say the lineage died with the daughter of so-and-so, the queen of so-and-so, because she bore no heir. And if she bore an heir to a different king, that kingdom was absorbed and discontinued and just became the kingdom of whoever popped that queen, that princess, and put a son in her.
Right, and too. And if he couldn't get it through the queen, he would go out with one of his concubines or somebody else and try to get a son.
Yep.
He knew that lineage was the son to keep the kingdom going.
Yeah.
Everybody know that, but
And they should.
This is because the others doing the vibrations, right? This is St. Matthew 5:14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is hid upon a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. You know, so this righteous vibration, you know, is going forth. Start with Alabama. You know, the Lord, blessing us with His Spirit. You know, giving us His Word. You know, to the apostles and elders, amen on down. And that vibration of righteousness, you know, and those who are alive to turn back and repent, is going forth from the earth. Also, why do you think everybody Jacob's growing their beards? That's that light shining in this dark place.
Stop eating pork. You got a lot of Jakes looking into the herbs and the stones and stuff like that, which, hey, you had people, hey, of course you had Jakes here and there doing this, but you really didn't, at least for me, I really didn't see that shit uptick until like the last 10 years. And we know our apostle elders went on YouTube in 2007, but since then, like the brother was saying, you got Jakes growing their beards, Jakes getting into the stones, the herbs, a more healthy lifestyle, giving up pork. Hey, that all started with the vibration of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai pushed through his men.
Alpha male.
Hey, all this red pill MGTOW shit.
Yeah.
Hey, that really. Hey, a brother did a video on how all you influencers on YouTube really should give your honors to the elder apostles of GMS, because they were on the scene longer before you pushing that vibration. That Eve was your enemy, that your woman was against you, and only goes with this system that you need to man up and really show your dominance and control about things.
Finishing it out, it says, let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And through us, start with the apostles come out here and teaching this word, our light is shining. And some are believing the things that are being said, and some are not. We heard the apostles and elders, and we believe. We are now moving with fear. Trying to build that spiritual ark. You see, so when this death and destruction comes, we can be protected. Because the rest of the world, they're on this wave. They see everyone, the wave is coming. See everybody else lifting up their hands. They're doing it with them. Not knowing they're bowing down and worshiping the spiritual demon Satan.
I got something to back you up. As a brother said, hey, people are hearing it. And whether you hear or forbear these words, the same result is going to happen. This kingdom's going to go down, and the Israelites are going to set up, and things are going to go back to the right, ancient, old ways. And it all started with this word getting preached, as it says in Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And that's why you see chaos breaking forth. Brother Wild, we ain't seen nothing yet. The Lord really hasn't started to judge these people in the height that He's going to do it. It's going to get worse. You name it. If this happened now, wait till cannibalism. You see all these zombie apocalypse movies. People are literally going to be out here eating each other. Paul tying, people tying in the back of the street. You're going to see a car driving. Jake going to be in the back. Now they're gonna be, it's literally, people are going to be tortured out here. It's all the wrath of Yahweh Shem Shai.
I got some effects. Backing up the brother. Romans 10 and 18. But I say, have they heard?
Sir, 17?
Yeah. Romans 10 and 17. It says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh.
That's right. So when we heard this word, that light, when we seen this light shining, in this dark demonic place, Babylon the Great, this valley of the shadow of death, with low morals, low standards, when we heard this word, we believe. Yahweh Shema Shai, when this word was preached in the spirit's form, the men that was allotted to believe, we woke up to this truth. And that vibration of righteousness was placed upon us. Now we're continuing that lot. Just as Yahweh Shai, brother quoted, wish ye not that must be about my Father's business. So that's the vibration that Yahweh Shai pushed over 2,000 years ago. And we still in that same spirit today.
Romans 10 and 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily.
Yeah, have they not heard? Yes, verily. Because that's why scriptures talk about arising and departing, and to separate yourself. Because you got two opposing forces. One is going to overcome the other. You see? So either you're going to be overcome by the ways of this world, or they're going to be overcome by your ways. They're going to start following you. That's why brother said his woman, starts, that vibration is going to rub off. You know, so either those spirits are going to overcome, or they're going to have to separate. You know, and that the spirit of unbelievers, when they see this righteous vibration, way of videos, way of they come out here to listen, they flee away. You know, turn the channel because you know it's either or. That's why your family separates you from their company. You know.
Yep. Romans 10:18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world.
And that's through the World Wide Web. You know, nothing is by coincidence. Nothing is by accident. Yahweh Shemal Shai, the Heavenly Father, He came with a master plan. You see, nothing's happening on this earth that the Lord didn't sanction. You know, and it's being played out here on the earth today. Why do you think brothers would say something and a guy just walk up, you know, or walk past again? The Lord's, you know, He's doing this thing on the earth. You know, and that's a small scale. Wait until we're gonna have a gang of people chasing one guy. He's gonna, everybody's gonna pass him. You know, they show you in that movie World War Z. They just ran right by him. You know, they didn't see him. You know, that's how it's gonna be. These things, the miracles are gonna happen on earth. Yeah, where your brothers want to get into? Let the brothers get this and then jump into where you're going.
Romans 11:7.
Yeah, we have some prophecies.
And then Israel have not attained that which she's seeking for.
Well, then Israel have not attained that which he's seeking for. Who is that talking about?
Right.
That's talking about the wicked 2/3. You see, that were that's talking about the wicked 2/3. You see.
Hey,
You're right.
You want to walk the book back, right? But the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded.
But the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded.
It's right there.
Hey, just go walk one, bro.
All right. Romans 11:7. But then Israel have not attained that which he's seeking for.
What then? And what are they seeking for? The truth. But they going to. There's been Esau Edom has set up so many deceivers because you know Edom is the sword of the left hand, so the Lord is using him. You know, he has his purpose. You know, that's why he got all these different philosophies, these doctrines. You know, and Jacob's being caught up and snared. That's why it's going to say they are all snared in houses. You know, that's talking about they're snared their minds. You know, dealing with these different philosophies.
That brings me to you said that. This Colossians 1:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Beware.
Yeah, beware.
Be on the guard.
Yeah.
Therefore be circumspect.
Right.
You know? So beware. Look around. Know that in the last days prophets, false teachers shall come, whose mouths must be stopped. You know?
They tell you that Matthew too, what's my name?
Oh, brother was giving testimony and a guy come up to you and you're talking about
Oh yeah.
I'm the Lord. He said I'm
Melchizedek, yeah.
You know, people following him and everything. Dealing with the Latin community, you know, they have a ton of people. Oh, I'm Jesus. You know, in big churches. Yeah. You have some people that say they're the devil. You know, people following them. You know, people are bugged out here. Yeah,
I know, right? I'm gonna jump on this Colossians 2.
I'm sorry, they show you that in like certain movies. You see a guy, he might, you have a woman prophet. Oh, she said it was gonna rain today. She told me to take the umbrella. You know, and then you got the one guy saying, no, she's not true. And he got all the bad luck happening to him.
Just like the Ephraimite dude that came out about 3 weeks ago. And he was like about the witches and the witch houses, and well, she said that my cousin was gonna ever get married, and she did get married. So you supposed to believe in that?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on,
Yeah, we've been telling you that some of the apostles and elders that this shit was gonna be pushed before it was even mainstream.
That's right.
Yeah, that should tell you right there. You know, that's why the Spirit had the elder apostle heart. What is the 666 mark? So that was the question. Nobody knew that answer, save the apostles. So when you type it onto YouTube, you will find the channel. You know, you will either be condemned or you will believe.
That's right. Yeah. This is Colossians chapter 2, verse 4. Flip it forward, I'm gonna jump down.
Okay.
It says, "And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words." You know, don't let no man fool you through enticing words like the black conscious community, man. They want to use big words and, you know, and Jake fall for that, man. You know, your Dr. Umar Johnson, your lights, you know.
Well, look at this all science.
Science, yeah.
You say all these words, you don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
They try to get into the anatomy of the body. Oh, it does this. You'd be like, you gotta Google the word.
Yeah.
You couldn't just break. The Lord said, write the vision and play it upon tables. He that readeth may run. He that run that readeth it. You know?
That's right. Jumping down back to 8, it says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men."
It's a spoil. My brother, spoil your mind.
Yeah, brother.
You know? Spoil you.
Yeah.
Oh, the woman is over the man. They ran with that. You know, they not running with the truth. They running with these lies. You know, and they're going to the top of their mountains and their platforms and pushing it upon the people. You know, you might have there's too many influencers in Babylon. You know, this dude got 1 million subscribers. This dude got 500,000 people following him. You know, 10 million people following him. You know, that's a lot of people being deceived. You know.
That's right. Time to finish it out. Colossians 2 and 8. It says, "After the rudiments of the world and not of Mashiach." So don't let no one rob your heart, man, your life, with the lies that's being pushed out here, man. You know, Mother's Day, a big one y'all was going into. You know.
Yeah,
Mama.
You know. I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
Right.
They would have been good at it.
Article report.
Damn.
You got all this death going on in the world, and you worry about Mother's Day.
Right.
The world stops for the mothers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mama.
I'm showing this clip. You know, dealing with the women. You know, they asked the woman, "What do you look for in a man?" Nice, tall, abs, smooth skin. What do you like? They asked the dude, "What do you like in the woman?" You know, something slim, not too big bone. You know, the woman. That's body shape.
Yeah.
But he said, "How is that?" I just told you the same thing. I just said the same thing you said. You know, these people hypocritical. You know, they're really bugged the hell out.
Because they get it from the guy Esau. He's the hypocrite.
These women don't need to be empowered. You know, there's not for these women to be worshipped and served. You know, you honor your mother, but you reverence your father. You know, always supposed to serve your. You know.
I'm done.
The Lord said, if you show your earthly father reverence, you know, so that tells you supposed to show your earthly father reverence. You know, how much more the heavenly Father, the Father of Spirit. You guys agree, brother?
We got Matthew 24:5. "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Mashiach, and shall deceive many." That's the thing we just talking about all these, you know, self-proclaimed prophets all of a sudden, you know, saying, you know, they Mashiach, they Melchizedek, they Yahweh Shah. You know, you gotta be aware of niggas like that these days. Because, you know, everybody, they done picked up these scriptures, but guess what? Everybody ain't got the breakdowns and the interpretation right, man. So, you know, they got all these followers buying them now. You know, they got 2,000 views, 3,000 views. and all these people saying they the truth, they the light, and all this kind of stuff, or they Michael Allah or something. You know, his brothers at the time saying they angels and stuff. You know, yeah, so you gonna get all these false prophets that's going on now. But hey, like you saying, there's gonna be some that get it and some that's not. But they're gonna get the true doctrine of this thing, man. And everybody else is gonna be on that clout chasing. Cause that's all people do now is for views, for likes. You know, everybody wants to, oh, you really cut that devil. You know, that's all they want. You know. But nobody really seeing the truth anymore, man.
I just got this is a quick definition of the word false. It says not according with truth or facts.
See?
Incorrect. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so
According to truth or facts.
it says according to be the thing devoted, deliberately made or meant to deceive. Deliberately made to deceive.
Deceive and deceiver is his, you know? So ultimately it's coming from the Most High. You know, he don't want you to get it when it boils down to it.
He made them. He made this guy deliberately to deceive. That was their purpose.
Yeah. Like saying, the Most High sent you niggas a strong delusion, man. And now you believe in any and everything that comes up with a tripod, you know, and this is the man, you know, because he
platform.
Good platform.
Women telling you what they want, or how a man can serve them best. Why the hell would you listen to them?
Oh, I like that better. I can perform to that better, you know. Or I can go out during the summer and the springtime. Oh yeah, that's me right there. You know, that's more like it. The other guys, I don't know what they talking about. You got to go out all the time, you know. Yeah, it is.
And the definition was one of the words he said, false.
Yep.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. Hey, saying John the Baptist wasn't the man of the Lord, saying the name doesn't matter, saying that sex on Sabbath, saying the MOB isn't the chip, sodomy.
You can do it in the butt.
Yeah.
Some of y'all gonna be mad.
Saying you're a commanding general who's second only to Yahweh Shai.
That's some bugged out statements, man. But hey, that's false teaching. You know?
This is the time and place to have multiple women. To build up a kingdom here. We're gonna that's what did General Young say? We're gonna build our kingdom within this kingdom. Like that's a plan of the apes. Like Jacob's eventually just gonna overpopulate. Yo, have you done
Don't say that.
What Pharaoh did, he killed all the first. When Israel got mighty, they just killed the firstborns. You know? They said, fuck it. You know?
Like the other guy talking about just get you a big plot of land. You know, we're trying to find some
vineyards.
We need some electricians and, you know, and carpenters come down. You know, this kind of mess.
I mean, this is not our rest, man. Esau come through, spray down the chemtrails and dead your whole garden.
It don't matter what part of the city you
Yeah, no matter where you at, man.
how much you get from rain, you look up, you can see chemtrails.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know?
Still getting that same 4-hour water.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I know, right? Yeah, bro.
Even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
That's right. It's that the Lord shed his blood. You know, starting with the elect, ultimately, you know. But they denied Yahweh by Shemal Shai. He redeemed us out of Egypt.
Yep.
You know, he's promised to only redeem his elect in these times.
That's right.
You know, they've been rejecting the Lord since he split the Red Sea. You know, and before that, you know, the armies of Egypt coming
The sons
up.
of God going into the daughters of men.
Yep. Denying the Lord for a long time.
And look what happened when Moses went up to get the law, right? You know, they said these idols were delivered us. You know, they wasn't giving credit to the Lord. You know, they had Aaron melt the gold and make idols for them. You know, what was Yahweh Shemal Shai's credit?
No, it's the prophecies.
Yeah, I got just two more verses.
Yeah. No. There was 13 and 5.
This is 2 Peter 2, verse 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Isn't that, what did they do with the San Francisco brothers? You know? Esau downplayed them, demonized them. And everybody who's seen the clip, they on the comment board already know, oh, that's not true.
Yeah, a lot of people knew what's up already.
A lot of people seen that. That was a sloppy job.
Yeah.
When that Jersey shooting happened, a lot of people are like, this isn't real, because we see these people on the block and deal with them, and they don't get down like that.
Yep. That's facts. You know? Even they have a circumcision. They speak evil of us.
Right.
Those guys. What about this?
Yeah.
What about rape?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they want to throw that out there.
You know, and the Spirit had the other apostle heart bringing out like that to offend people.
Yeah.
You know, it's all the Spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It was meant to come out like that.
Right.
Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I just got one more verse. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now the long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not.
That's why Yahweh Shai make not my house den of thieves. You know? Hey, they making merchandise of these men. They be selling selling the Passover tickets.
500, what was
It
it
was
like?
like 250.
A single person, but for like a family, 500.
Yeah.
You buy the starter pack, the garments, the pre-made breakdowns.
Yeah, yep. Because they used to sell breakdowns. You know, they don't be going in nothing. I'm pretty sure they still sell the breakdowns on the low. They'll be posting breakdowns on the YouTube, but they sell them because when they teach their people lies, we can't get on them for it. You know.
And even though the man just died, who was a part of IUIC, they called the dude the Pockets. Because he had deep pockets that they would stick their grubby hands into. I'm pretty sure Nate and all them, they stuck their hand in and like you saw the whole upper arm go down there to grab out what they wanted.
The last little bit you got left after they did so many times.
They turned him upside down and shook him with his pockets coming out.
Hey bro, hey, you got more in that other pocket though, right?
And you got that back pocket too.
This one might be empty, but savings account, credit card.
You got debit card.
Yeah,
I
bro.
got some real quick. It's Sirach 39:24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked.
That's right. And, you know, this word is made plain known to us. When we hear about arrows being shot from other parts, arrows being shot from one end of the earth even onto the other, intercontinental ballistic missiles, when it's broken down like that, we understand. It's being made plain.
And that's how it's heavy with the Spirit of the Lord, man, to have us see these things. Because look, when you already heard the saying, look up in the sky for birds and things, you know? Because those things looking like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So how much more, you know, arrows and these ICBMs? They can't get that.
It's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's a nuclear missile.
Right.
It's a roll. You know?
A cloud, like
It's a cloud.
you gotta think, you gotta put yourself, when you read these scriptures, you gotta put yourself in an ancient mindset. When they had horse-drawn carriages and actual chariots back then, if you see a vision of a missile with a rocket going through the sky, that I'm not gonna say it's the Satan II. I'm gonna say it's an arrow.
Right.
Or if I see a chariot in the sky, what's the only thing we see in the sky? A cloud.
Yeah. They would use the what they call language. Yeah, terminology.
The clouds, his chariots. What's
Yeah.
a chariot? A chariot is a vehicle. And he makes the clouds his vehicles. You know? So how hard is that to understand? Let's talk about the UFOs that NASA and everybody is having these sightings for.
But it just goes back to the time who was still down there, and then Jake was like, I want to understand it. He was trying so bad. He's like, can y'all just, you know, we can't open up that. Only how much you guys try to open that understanding up for you. We're just giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? We breaking out scripture after scripture after scripture, and the brother still couldn't get it, and he wanted to get it so bad.
I got you, bro.
Yeah.
First Corinthians 3:6. I have planted, Apollo water, but the Most High gave the increase.
Yeah, see, how much you know God's doing because the increase on this truth, man. You know? So we're just what? Watering, you know, planting, and what? The Most High is the one's going to increase your faith in this man, increase your knowledge in this man, man.
That's right, because you plant in the garden, you
Yeah.
know? patient. You might be patient. You know, brothers, be patient, breaking down scriptures, breaking bread with a guy. You know, that plant never spring forth. You know, you gotta cut your losses.
That's right.
You know, edification still came out. We still watered the other plant. This one just didn't spring up.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
Yeah, so,
This is Romans 11, verse 7. What then?
That's spirit.
Israel had.
It came out when I went to the bathroom.
Oh,
Bring it up.
I got another one too. This is Revelation 11, verse 7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
the election being the elect. The men that allotted, you read up, the 7,000 men that is not going to bow down the knee to the image of Baal. So they're going to stand stiff and firm in their teachings to Yahweh Shemel Shai onto the believers. You see? And those believers, through them not compromising, you know, they're going to believe. You know, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be upon them, you know, as well. And they're going to hearken, they're going to see the men, you know, they're going to believe in the works, you know.
Verse 8. According as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day.
Cause they knocked out, bro. After that wine, that strong drink they drank, they fell asleep.
Yeah, the scripture said even until this very day, which was what they rejected it back then. The Lord closed their ears, their eyes back then, man. You know?
Yep, that's right. Because you know that, back in their life. Yep, that's fair. I'm saying the same thing. You reject the Lord. That's why the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophets, and the spirit of those that said, "Let their blood be upon us and our children," they're coming back in their life too. They're subject on that judgment.
It's Matthew 13 and 16. It says, "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see." You know, they desire to see this, man. Why do you think people hate on the men of the Lord had great millstone for having this truth, man? Because they really wish the Lord was dealing with them in that sense, man. You know?
Why aren't we that diligent?
Yeah.
Why aren't we that passionate? Why don't we have a zeal like that?
Why can't I get it? Why can't I get it?
Why don't I want to go do this every day?
Yeah.
All they do is they even have jobs.
Yeah.
You know, his brothers push out the word so much.
Yeah. That's right. They said,
We all are on our job. We have jobs. Some brothers got 2 jobs. Some brothers got 3 jobs.
Wife and kids.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
What's that that show with what's the dude's name? Terry Crews and
Oh, here it is. Everybody hates Chris.
What the
Rochelle.
huh?
Rochelle.
Yeah,
the mother.
Michelle's always say,
My man got 2 jobs.
"Quit, my man got 2 jobs." Yeah, she's always say that. I can quit, my man got 2 jobs. You know? And look, man, and look. You know, it just made me think about that.
That's
man.
right. Because our main job, just like Yahweh Shai said, is this business. You know, this truth, this knowledge.
Father's business.
That's right. I must be about my father's business. That's right. But finish it out. This is Matthew 13:17. "For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them."
I was going to say, what did it say in Acts 1? The apostles asked him, "Is now the time that the kingdom shall be established?" That was over 2,000 years ago. So how much more now when we're at the door of that day? When as it says, many great men and kings have desired to see these prophecies take place in the flesh before them. And we're here, standing here, living in these great last days before the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven for eternity. So that's why you should have so much fire in you, you can't even stand still. You're shaking with fire on you because we're in those times. The salvation we've been looking for in our past lives all the way up until today, it's here.
This is the second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 30. Chapter 8, verse 62. These things have I not shown unto all men.
Right, which is this truth, this wisdom, this knowledge. You know? That lets you know the Lord don't love everybody, man.
Hey, bro. It said, these things have I not shown unto all men.
Right. Perfect
You know?
example.
Some of these guys, when they hear we the children of God, oh, well, you know that means I'm a king.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna put on a nice garment. I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna fool these women. You know.
I'm gonna get a polo shirt with fringes at the bottom.
They do it to be seen of men.
That's right.
Hey, what are you scribes and Pharisees that like to be called rabbi in the markets and wear and seek the best tables in the house? Hey, clean. You look good with the garments and everything on the outside. When you think of an Israelite, a simple person, be like, that's that man right there. But you should clean that inward part, that sepulcher, because there is a tomb for dead men's souls.
Lord said, clean the outward, clean the inward, and then the outward is gonna shine.
Jake just had me being a two outwardly, you know? You can fool everybody, you know, I got the best garment, you know, I got the biggest, fluffiest beard, you know, and that's enough for Jake, and he go back being with me again.
I'm a Nazarite. You see,
Right,
I got
right,
the
right,
longest
The
hair.
locks.
Yeah, I got the locks.
The musty, dusty locks on my head.
Hey, look, real fast, it's just like a vehicle. You know, if you ever bought a used vehicle, what's your main thing? That engine, that trans. That's huh? Yeah, that's it. You know, on the inside. You know, outside the cosmetic stuff, you can deal with that. You know, but you want to make sure that engine, the transmission is squeaky. You know,
Heart.
Yeah.
Exactly. The heart.
The hard vehicle.
Yep.
Right?
That's
The
right.
engine is dead.
Right.
I don't care how, you can have a Ferrari.
Yep.
The engine don't work.
Yep.
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You got a big paperweight.
Yeah. Yeah, you look like, oh man, why is he selling this car? It looks so good. You know? It's a lemon, that's why.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's what they call it.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. Well, look, it says, these things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee.
Yeah, the elect. You know, the men that was prophesied to come back in their lot and teach this truth, man.
That's right. A few like thee.
Like me.
Like-minded individuals.
Yep.
You know, GMS like-minded.
Right.
You know? It says, but behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders, which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
And that's what we're doing. You know, every brother up here is measuring time. That's why we out here, man. You know, week in and week out. You know, when we're not out here on, Wednesday, we go out Saturdays, Fridays, Sundays. You know, we're edifying during the week. We're catching up on articles, watching the news, and we're reporting it through our sit-down lessons, man. You know, this is happening. Like we was going to earlier, it's just about famine. Food shortages. And I saw that on RT this morning, man. It said over like 150 million people are going through a food shortage, man. Well, that's in the scriptures.
But that's not really pushing the mainstream.
Yeah.
The Grammys is pushing the mainstream.
Yeah. Well, here in America.
Oscars, yeah. Babylon the Great,
Babylon,
where
yeah.
the bulk of Israel is, you know?
What's Babylon mean? Confusion. These people are confused from head to toe out here. They care about the bullshit and folly, the awards, the social media posts, the accolades, trying to live like the Joneses, which is an old term. Well, these other nations are living in reality. They know wars, famines, and woes are coming, so they're preparing accordingly.
You know what the Joneses was people flying in the sky?
That's the Jetsons, bro.
The Jetsons. But they came out with that part. Why were they in the sky? Because everything under them was screwed up.
They had to live in domes.
Yeah.
The Joneses, that was the Joneses was the family above like the Jeffersons wanted, and like George Jefferson. Yeah, and they were trying to live like.
We'll look it up later.
Yeah.
I think the Joneses is a term. It's like, the Joneses, they got everything
Yeah,
going for them.
Everything going for them.
Yeah, that was a time.
It says, then answered me and said, measure thou the times diligently in itself.
Yeah, because, you know, these things are being played out. Like it tells you in Ezekiel, what's that? Was it 12? Most going to cause that proverb Israel to cease.
That's right.
You know, these visions probably going to happen pretty much in your days. You know, what we're saying is not far off, man. They're not 50 years from now. You know? That's why we're coming out here telling Jake, getting the blood off our hands and warning them, look, repent or die. You know, there's no in between with your Yahweh Shem Shai. You're going to repent and turn back to him, or you're going to die according to the Bible, man.
And what Yahweh Shai say about the in between? Be ye either hot or cold.
That's right.
If ye be lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. We're in the times where you're either on fire or you're cold in the world. If you're straddling the fence, hey, you may come out to a camp every now and then. You may know that there's a camp somewhere, but you're coming out with 144 excuses not to go there. You're just bullshit. Hey, the Most High's going to spew you out of his mouth. And everything you put over this truth that kept you from it, the Most High's going to put it to death and destruction right before your eyes.
Right. You're going to snatch it up from you.
That's right. And it reads,
Snatch it up from you.
and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
All the prophecy that the Lord told us about, man. First woe, the second woe, right? Jacob going into captivity, hardcore slavery and bondage.
yeah, the former things are come to pass, and new things are I declare. That ship,
You got that still,
Babylon the
Isaiah
Great,
42:9?
Babylon the Great being America.
Right.
Those are new things that are being declared at this time, and that's how you know we living in those last times.
The main ascent being revealed.
Yeah,
That's not a prediction.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
That's right.
They want to be seen of men. Oh yeah, we gotta go preach to the sisters.
Right.
They got Africa. Last year, they had this African festival. That's what they have in the day. The streets will be flooded. No parking anywhere. You gotta be traveling. You gotta wait for someone to leave parking. But it's dead. You know.
This one, this one.
No, it's not like before all day long. Yeah, all day long. You know. At 11, 12 o'clock, people out here setting up. You know. Or it's gonna go live tonight for sure. But
In Isaiah 24, the city of confusion is broken down and all the houses are being shut up.
That's right.
Hey, as the brother was saying, at this African festival, it used to start earlier, but now it's starting later because of C-19. And a lot of businesses are shutting down, people are going on unemployment, livelihoods are being destroyed, and it's not getting better, it's only getting worse.
That's right.
that's what we measure.
You made a good point. You know, you're talking about the city of confusion. You don't know if a man is a man. You know if a woman's a woman. You know.
We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
When you hear an article when they say the alphabet agenda people, when they say, oh, an alphabet agenda woman, something happened to you, you got to think, are they talking about a woman who deals with other women? Or are they talking about a man who's...
madness.
Yeah, that make no sense.
Yeah.
Yep. But it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Yeah, why did it say we will understand? Because we've been measuring the times. Okay, this done happened. You know, read that. This done happened. Read that. Now this is set next to happen. Revelation 13, and it's out. We just waiting for this man to officially make it mandatory, right?
When the Lord says, shall not visit a people such as this, how is he visiting them? Through his judgment.
Yep.
You know, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executed.
Yep.
And before he executes those judgments, before he executed, he told us, he sent his prophets to go out there and warn the people and to give you the judgments.
That's right.
When you live your life this is what happens. He saw, the judgments of Yahweh Shema, that's what we out here telling our people.
Yeah. And the Lord judges, this earth in many ways. It tells you in the scriptures. Storms and tempests, right? Pestilence, diseases. Those are ways the Lord is visiting the earth, man. And those things are happening.
Famines.
Yeah.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
This is how you know. This is Jeremiah 28 verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old. And what's it saying, Corinthians? The spirit of the prophet is subject to a prophet. So the prophets that were before us, that are back here today, are speaking the exact same thing. Before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries. Hey, Persia, Babylon, Egypt, Rome, the Grecians, America, China, Russia, etc., both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied the peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass.
The word of the true prophet shall come to pass.
Right. What is that? That Jake over there in Jamaica, interview
Nate, where he was like, oh, when it says they shall be married and given in marriage, that's what he said Israel's going to be doing during Jacob's trouble.
What? Those pieces are not, man. Those pieces are that puzzle piece, it ain't fit no matter how much you try to jam
This
it.
man trying to say bro, no, like that's like talking. It don't roll like that, my man.
Yeah.
You can't just rewrite it. He added there too. You know, that's why the plagues that are written in the scriptures are going to be added on to him. He's taking them away at the same time.
They're following.
He's taking away their salvation. Literally, they are literally murdered. They got love in their hands. You know, everybody running to the bridge. This man with an axe, are blowing the bridge up. Now people can't get across because of this dude. You know, you got it.
It was for me. What's too late?
Jeremiah 28 verse 9 again. The prophet which prophesied the peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass.
So when war, evil, pestilence, comes against Babylon the Greek to consume it, to totally take away the mirth, that you people, the little mirth and joy that you people have in the society that's left, when these things come to pass,
then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him.
then it's going to be known, but for a majority of people, because our people don't have faith, it's going to be too late. And those without faith is anger in the Lord. The Lord is angry with the wicked every day. So they walking, so-called people like the Americans walking a life, a faithless life. The Lord is, because you have someone who, you have a woman, she's supposed to be faithful to her man. She's supposed to be full of faith. That's where faithful goes back to. Full of faith. We being the bride of the Yahushai, Yahweh Shemashai, we gotta be full of faith.
Like in Timothy said, the scripture also said the wicked won't be included at all,
Yep.
So hey, no matter what, Jay, you still get to work. Like we was talking about earlier in the lesson. But hey, no matter what, you can't escape this judgment.
Right.
You gotta get down and lay down, you know what I'm saying?
They gotta get the hands of the Lord.
Yeah, right.
That's Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I is my God, I want my hill, they say they can live out my hands, that's the point.
Yeah.
We all the hands of the Lord, so, escape it.
Whatever you live out his hands.
Right. And then,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just backing up the Bible. This is why we measure the time diligently. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the take it from the top.
Yeah.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower.
And that's what we do. We stand upon our watch. We stand upon the tower. You stand upon the tower, you got the aerial advantage to see afar off to actually see what's going on.
Bird's eye view.
That's right. Everybody else is in a wall city. They don't know what the hell is going on. But we're sitting up on our watch, sitting up on the tower, blowing that trumpet, letting you know what danger is coming. That warning, of pending danger. The danger is 10 miles off. The trumpet is 5 miles off now. It's about to reach the city. That's what we telling our people. 5 years ago like you did, you know? You know, you got 5 more years, you know? We told him this thing go down in months, days, you know? Days away.
And will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Go ahead.
And the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. A table is where you eat, you know? So we are, start with the apostle tells us, breaking down this truth to you so you may eat it. You know, it may be plain. Breaking down plain to stay simple. You know, when you got a meal, you know, you prepare for the child, you know? You don't just throw the plate, here you go, you know? Here go the whole chicken, you know? You got a little baby, she might just start being able to juice off the meat, milk, start chewing, you over here, you know, might break it up, cut it up for her, cut up the fruit. They got these little contractions where she just suck the bottle for the fruit and stuff. You know, you prepare for them. You know, that's what the Lord has done for us. You know, now we're running to the highways and byways, and we're preaching this word. You see? Yeah.
Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
That's right. We got the message, and now we are out here in the streets. You know, warning the people. You know, we were warned. You know, so we got warned. You know, that's that. The Lord showing loving thy neighbor as thyself, you know, and not thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You know, we were warned, so we showing that same diligence and love for our people, you know,
Right.
But they don't care.
And that vision, you know, is going into martial law.
Yep.
You know, famine, Amos the 5th chapter, Joel 2. You know, I mean, just ship. Yep. You know. That's what we're telling our people.
War Armageddon.
War Armageddon, yep.
The Valley of Josaphat.
Yep. The Lord's judgment, Yahweh Shabbat, man.
Yep.
All these things we're telling our people to prepare them for, man. You know, but they're not putting on the spiritual armor. You know, they're putting on, I don't know, what is this world?
No, they're covered with the cover of this world. You know?
Yeah.
It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time.
Yeah, the vision's talking about the prophecies. It's for an appointed time, man. You know, scripture.
That revelation is that been revealed unto the meek.
That's right.
And lowly.
That's right. It tells you, this man set time, you know.
Job 14:5.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
The Lord set his bounds to where you can't pass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you know this man's rulership has an end.
Yep, that's right.
You know?
For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
It has been revealed unto those who've been given the truth that has been set upon the high tower.
Yep.
And there's an appointed time, and we count down the clock.
Yep.
You know, you got 10 minutes, you got 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know, to a point where the city's gonna get breached, it's all gonna come that great flood. You know, with great wrath, those that he has for a short time. You know, and then those who are upon the high tower, what are we gonna do? We're gonna haul ass to that strong tower.
Yep.
You know, which is the name of the Yahweh Shema Shah, which is the name of the Lord.
You gonna pull out.
I'm sorry. We ain't just gonna be up there.
Yeah. You know, they don't book to the doors.
He's up in the Lord, hitting the bell. Hey guys, Israel, it's too late.
You know, but like, this next Trump, I'm born, and I have this much time to get to the, you know, my safety point.
Yeah. I'm gonna blow it till, you know, I know it takes 2 minutes to run to the strong tower.
Right.
You know? Hey man, that 2-minute mark, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's that famine of the word, you know?
An extra minute, you know, if you got family or woman, children, you know, got them up. Where we going? Let's go. You know?
It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
And he's speaking now. Through who? The prophets. Luke 1:70, right? Amos the 3rd chapter, Lord gave his secrets to his servants and prophets. So it's speaking now because we out here telling you through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem. These things are going to happen, man.
But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it.
Yeah, though it may seem like it's taking a while for these things to kick off, you know, especially the MOTV, wait for it because it shall surely come. It's going to come, as it tells you in Isaiah 14, one of my favorites. As Lord has spoken, so shall it stand. So these things are going to happen, man.
Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Yeah. It was not a lie, man.
Oh, Yahweh Shai said, in Hebrews, the 10th chapter 37, it would tarry. Let me get it.
He that will come will come.
Yeah, he that will come and will not tarry. Yahweh Shai, he promised, he said, behold, I come quickly. Satan falling down with lightning to the ground. The Lord is telling you, in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man coming. It's going to be at the height of confusion. It's just, you know how fast lightning go down. Tomorrow, literally one day you wake up, shit has hit the fan.
Yeah.
Literally.
Everybody come get a chip. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to make it mandatory.
They make, what happened, IBM, or IMB, I can't remember the acronym. IBM, they just created all these new chips.
Wow.
You know, because, you know, your phone got a chip, your car got a chip, Ford got all these cars in the shop, well, not in the shop, but in their lot, you know, not being able to drive because they don't got chips. So now this is putting in the minds of people, mass chipping, we need more chips. Production. We need to produce more chips. Not knowing those chips that they're producing are going to go inside you. Now, let's bring this out and put on this.
Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. You know, that's a cut talk about just for everybody. Everybody, you know, that's Jake's favorite scripture for some reason, you know, but can't ever show it nowhere, you know. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
So this warning is from Yahweh Shema Shai, the Lord. He placed us upon the high tower.
Right.
You know, he's risen up men to go and to warn the people. You know, Jeremiah, he tried to get out of it. He tried to make an excuse. Moses, he tried to make an excuse. Jonah, he at the end of the day, like I said, the prophets are subject to the prophets. You know, they gotta do it. You know, they're the will of Yahweh Shema Shai is for them to warn the people and to proclaim their message, his message onto them.
Subject, sub, under, jack, rule.
Under the rule.
Of who though?
Yahweh Shema Shai.
But add to it. And it said, give warning from me. It's going to show you the Most High deal with men on the earth. And that's another cut to niggas to my God spoke to me. You know, what makes you so special?
Right.
You know, the time he been dealing with other men he placed on the earth. You know, they raised up.
The account of the book is there. The Lord always, Ezekiel, go there. Isaiah, go there. Moses, Noah, you know, Moses, Noah walked with the Lord. Abraham walked with Yahweh Shema Shai. You know?
I had a family, like I told y'all brothers, you know. I'm talking about the truth, you know, and the Lord said I ain't got to do that. He came to me in the dream. Yeah.
Go in Egypt from heaven.
Yeah, you got it.
That's Galatians, the first chapter. You know? Yep.
All right. 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest warning, so like it giveth not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways.
So we upon the high tower, and these false prophets, they have set themselves upon this high tower. Really, they're blind. They're in the city partying. They're over here screaming at us, you know, trying to act like, well, they're lying. They're liars. You know? But look, if we don't give our people warning, we're screwed. You know? They get the city gets deceived. Those people in the city, they're gonna go find the watchman. You know? Go ahead.
To save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity.
Yep.
But his blood will I require at thy hand.
That's right. So you're guilty of this man's blood, you know? You got his blood upon you. He basically caused his death. You know?
Yet, if thou warned the wicked, and he turned not from his wickedness.
You warn them. Jacob's trouble is coming. Great famine. War, evil, and pestilence going to consume this age. You know, in the near future. You know, and he turned not. You know, we tell him that the only solution is Yahweh Shema Shai and following the ways of righteousness. He just continued on with his good old day.
Going from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity.
He shall die in iniquity, sin upon sin, because he wasn't covered by the blood of the Lamb. You know, he wasn't covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. That's why the scripture said, all they that doeth evil hateth the light. Neither cometh to the light, lest their deeds be reproved. You know, they don't want to be, they don't want to repent. Harden of debt often, either from the children's debt.
But thou hast delivered thy soul.
Yeah, we good, you know. But it's time for us to call upon the Lord, you know, for protection. You see, the Lord's going to be there to protect us.
Scripture here, the prayers of righteous. You know, so.
Yeah, why callest thou me Lord? Now there is not the things I command you. You know. Yeah, we say, Lord, Lord. You know, did not we prophesy in thy name? Did not we do many works in thy name? He's going to say, well, to us, Lord's will, he can say, very done, very well. Thou family servant, like back in the 25th chapter. That's what we're going to say. Lord, remember when we was out there? You know, Yahweh Shai well, that's what Yahweh Shai is going to say. We even say our prayers for help. Yahweh Shai, and that's my man that was down there.
Hey, you that were ashamed to preach me before the world, I'm not gonna be an intercession between you and the Father. Get away from me. I've not known you. And as it says in Ezekiel 33, they shew much love with their mouth, but their deeds show otherwise. Roughly paraphrased.
Yeah. That's right. Yahweh Shai, hey, that was my guy down there. His prayers coming up.
He sacrificed. I saw him sacrifice this to get to camp, to do a video, to fellowship with the brothers. I saw the blood, sweat, and tears that this man put in.
Yep.
He made himself a fool amongst the people down there, you know.
For you.
Yeah.
For your greatness.
Yeah, for me, they did that for me. I got them, you know. So we hoping for it.
And if I can say, I should bring a tear to you, get you swelling up that Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, and he's got your back, and he's looking after you. And not only that, but like you're the first fruits of the sons of the Most High. Like the Most High looks at you first. Like he looks at all Israel as children, but that's my special children. Those are the ones I took the most time and effort to make and time. That's a piece of chicken.
He said, let my great be kept. Yeah. You know, for a great labor have I made it perfect. You know? Lord, never, yo.
It's a festival today. It's the same thing with IUIC down in New Orleans. Whenever the Jazz Fest or Essence Fest, that's when you see them out passing out pamphlets and flyers. You know you're an Israelite sister. You looking for a husband?
Miss Parker?
You looking for a husband? Miss Parker.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
So now is the time to wake the hell up. You know? Wake up, Jake. You know, you got that clip, that guy, everybody's there, wake up! You know, he's screaming. That's what we doing. You know? We screaming, wake up. You know? Wake up out of that sleep, trying to rally you. The Most High is rattling your cage by bringing this judgment, but evil men understand not judgment. You know, but they that seek Yahweh Shema Shai, we understand all things. You know? So we understand what times we're living in. Yeah.
It says, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Now is our salvation near. You know? Every day is another day closer to the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know? Another step closer. You know?
It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light.
Therefore, let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. You know, which is true. You got put on this armor so that you may be able to stand in the evil day against the wiles of the devil, the trickery, what? That's his media. That's him pushing everything, all these lies, telling the people it's deception. You know, while everybody else is getting caught up in these wiles, you know, we standing firm. This thing ain't affecting us. We see past all the shenanigans this man's pushing. You know? Read that last part again. This is the last part.
It says, yeah, let us cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light.
Yeah, go ahead, keep reading, finish out.
It says,
Things not provision for the flesh.
It says, let us walk honestly as in the day.
Honestly, in the truth, you know, as in the day. Go ahead.
Not in rioting and drunkenness.
That's what this world promotes. Rioters, drunkenness, you know. What is it? Luke, the 12th chapter, it talks about being the surfacing, you know, being drunk, hungover by the way that this world promotes, you know. You got it.
Not in chambering or wrong-tongueness, not in strife and envy,
Yep.
but put ye on Yahweh Shah HaMashiach,
Yep.
and make no provision for the flesh.
That's right. So the scripture says, put on therefore as the elect of the Most High. You know, so we're putting on the Lord, you know, we coming in the name of Yahweh by Shema Shai. We trying to do everything we can to serve the Lord to the best of our ability, you know. So we striving for that perfection. You know, while the rest of the world, they're striving for, you know, money, cars, clothes, and homes. We're striving for mercy of Yahweh by Shema Shai. That's right. You know, y'all brothers got any closing statements we close out? You know, the Lord's willing, you were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Before we close out, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, teaching us 1% truth, according to the Bible rule well, and peace and blessings to those who like the nation of Israel. Next time we say, Shalom.
Shalom.